Hi.
Hi, Demi.
How are you?
I'm good. I wish I had hair.
So it could look like mine.
Kinda. I kind of want to be like, can I like suss out a wig?
Suss out a wig.
And like,
just like wear it one day. You just we do Titanic, the saddest movie of all time. You just get a redhead wig.
oh my gosh. And I just,
Keep calling me Jack.
Gosh.
Oh my
You
God,
know what?
that'd be a really hilarious role
If we
play.
do Titanic, I will wear a wig.
Okay.
That's easy.
But it's so sad. I don't think that's a comedy. That's not a rom-com.
I mean, what are we talking about today? Am I right? No, but like, I'm happy to jump ship right now.
Stupid. I love it.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God, guys. Hi, welcome back. We are back after a long hiatus because somebody was in Europe.
I mean, what a good reason to be gone for a while.
It was me. I was in Europe.
Yeah. People say I just smell European. Yeah, it's weird. Anyway, but I'm glad we're back. We had a nice lunch the other day. We've talked about a better game plan. We're gonna get organized.
Yeah, we're gonna
this.
get organized and get better with you guys. And sorry, it's mainly been me. I've had a lot going on.
No, it's a shared battle. You know, when you're working with two creatives who are constantly busy.
I have severe ADHD
and I like to just forget. I don't have anything. I just like to forget things.
I am really good at follow-ups. That is my best
Yes,
quality as a partner in anything. Is I'll be like, hey, that thing that we talked about. Are we gonna do that thing that we talked about? And then you'll be like, what thing? I'm like, that thing. You're like, oh, that thing. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, negative. I have to. No, it doesn't matter. I don't remember anything. I'm not even going to try to convince people that I'm good at stuff.
To live in Tweety world. I would love that. I would love that so much. All I ever do is hyperfixate on everything that I haven't gotten accomplished. Like if I promise someone that I'm going to do something, I then panic that I haven't done that thing. Even though it's an open-ended promise. I can get it accomplished at any time, but I need it off my plate.
I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
You build up too many projects.
I do all the time.
Yeah, I know.
You should see my house. It's always a constant work of progress.
Yeah, I'm aware of some of the things you got going on.
Yeah, I'm having a battle with peel and stick wallpaper right now, which is really fun for me.
It's just
I should have just paid someone to do it. It's just lining it up perfectly. It needs to be lined up.
It's literally the instructions.
It's a pattern. It has to be lined up perfectly. You know why? Because I know that there's going to be a bed blocking most of it, but my OCD says, nah, bitch, this has to be perfect.
I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
But we're back. And on that note.
Hi guys, welcome back. We are Love It First Mike. My name is Demi York.
I'm Alex Alvarez.
So this is a podcast where we talk shit about or talk about how much we love certain rom-coms.
Yeah, and I think up until this point, we've had a good mix of things. We have a better game plan, and I am excited about today's movie. You just rewatched it. I know it line by line, and it's Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
With my husbands, Paul Rudd and Jason Segel.
Yo, Eiffel Tower. Yes, please.
I would die. I would literally die. I want that man to sing the Dracula song deep inside me.
Inside of you.
Oh my God. I hate Russell Brand, but he's so good in this movie.
My show notes.
But I think it's just because he's playing himself, which is a douchebag.
Which is exactly my show note. My show notes were like, let me just open with what I hate real quick. Russell Brand, Jonah Hill.
But at least he was fat, movie. Jonah Hill, He was at least more tolerable like when he was fat and like not gaslighting his ex-girlfriend.
It was a time where I was getting compared to him a lot. And
so it's a complex. Oh God. Welcome to the therapy couch.
Yeah, welcome to Love It First Mike. We're gonna talk about my complexes. About
Alex's deep-rooted trauma with Jonah Hill.
Yeah, I mean the list goes on, and maybe that's a whole other thing we post about. Like, what is that? Who does Alex look like?
Oh my God,
we hate the responses, but let me know. Anyway, yeah, I wanted to open with those things. There are things in this movie that over time I've grown to dislike based on just various politics or whatever you want to call it. But at its core, Forgetting Sarah Marshall is a great movie about unhappiness and figuring out how to be happy.
Okay. So I rewatched it today. It had been a minute since I'd watched it. And I was watching it and I was like, oh, like when I first watched it, because this came out in 2008. Mm-hmm. I had not been through like a really big, long, serious breakup yet.
Right.
And like I've watched it a few times since, but never since like a big toxic relationship had ended. And I watched it and I was like, oh my God, I'm Jason Segel. Like, I literally was like, oh my God, like, I am him. Like,
I didn't say it. But now I'm worried I'm drawing parallels. But that's your thing to talk about.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm a big, lovable teddy bear. And I put all my love and care into other people. And sometimes that shows up to them as me not taking care of myself, even though I am still managing myself.
I'm honestly confused. I understand what you said, but I'm honestly confused because now I've painted you as 3 different characters in this movie.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. There are so many. Actually, and I have a friend that's in this movie.
No way.
Yeah, D. The bartender?
No,
that's my friend D.
That's
and
great.
I didn't
Shout
even
out
realize.
D.
I completely forgot he was in this movie.
Until you watched it?
Until I watched it again. I was like fucking Leonardo DiCaprio in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I know that fucking guy. Like, oh my God. I texted him. I was like, yo, dude, I forgot you're in Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
I love it.
And I also love, all right, let's start off with the things that we love about this film.
Yeah, great segue.
For me, I really love, and this is definitely me being partial, I really love the bar scenes where they're all sitting at the bar and kind of having a powwow about the end of their day.
Yes.
I think that's lovely. I also truly love that Kristen Bell is basically making fun of herself at that point in time because she was in that detective show.
Right.
And it actually, so this is a crazy sidebar that you have to know celebrity lore to understand.
Go on.
Which I only know from listening to Dak Shepard's podcast before he got all weird. Dak Shepard, before he met Kristen Bell, was dating someone long-term who lived in the West Side for 9 years and broke it off with her when he got famous.
I didn't know that.
And the parallels between those relationships are pretty wild because she cheats on Jason Segel's character. Is it Segel or Seagull?
I always thought it was Segel.
I've always said it is Seagull. Okay, cool. Either way, I love him. I should know how to say his name properly. What is his character's name?
Oh, I'm drawing a blank now.
Oh God.
Yeah.
We're terrible
researchers.
You
just put me on.
You put a bullet in my brain.
I'm an emotional reviewer.
It's just Jason to me. He's just Jason.
Let's just go with Jason.
So his character is essentially like the equivocation of Dak Shepard's ex-girlfriend from back in the day.
I didn't even think that.
And like that fucking blew my mind while I'm sitting there rewatching it, knowing what I know now and knowing that it's also Kristen Bell. And then he met Kristen Bell, I think, way after. So it's like not that coincidental, but I was like, wow, that's crazy. And that's just stupid celebrity lore that no one really cares to know. So,
I feel informed.
Peter, his character name is Peter
Bretter.
Bretter.
Yeah.
Peter Bretter.
My phone's off, by the way. I have no idea what I was looking at.
No, so his name is Peter Bretter.
Yeah.
I related so much harder to Peter. I think especially because I just literally left to Europe after kind of calling it with someone. I like literally immediately left. I was like, fuck this. 2 days later was in Europe. The European trip was planned. I don't want anyone to think that I'm fucking crazy. And it wasn't a serious relationship like that. But so when he shows up without a reservation, my favorite version of Hollywood suspension of disbelief is him getting the $6,000 a night suite for fucking free.
I wish I could be so lucky.
I wish that Mila Kunis was running my concierge desk and just was like, yeah, baby, you're having a hard time. And bailed me out with my famous ex.
Let me take care of you.
Let me take care of you. I'm going to put you. He's actually in the fucking whatever it is suite. It's $6,000 a night. And the other part that follows up with that is when they're like, Dakota Fanning's people need this room because Dakota Fanning was so big at this time period. Yeah. Like it's 2008, right? Come on, Moo.
I do like watching old movies and like hearing whatever the like celebrity thing was,
and the
or like the gadget
humor.
Or the like, hey, look at the cell phone. Like my favorite thing still is watching a movie that's, you know, within the last 10 years or so, probably more, actually, probably more. And like they have the flip phone, the classic like corded phone or a classic flip phone, or if they go to a pay phone. I love when I get to see that again, just for the record. So,
well, and not to like, and another thing that I love, and not to give Russell Brand any flowers, But one of my favorite scenes in this movie is when he's teaching the virgin how to fuck with the chess pieces.
It's classic.
It's so good.
But what makes it funny is not Russell Brand.
It's the virgin.
It's the virgin, and he's in everything. He was in SNL, but he did the like. Yeah.
He's also in Wreck-It Ralph.
He's in Wreck-It Ralph. That's right.
He's in Wreck-It Ralph. He's in 30 Rock.
Mm-hmm. 30
He's
Rock.
he's in
Jack McBrayer.
Yeah, he's super great, and his fucking comedic timing is everything. And the woman who plays his wife is the girl who looks like the girl from Kimmy Schmidt, but she is not the girl from Kimmy Schmidt.
Maria Thayer.
Maria Thayer.
Yeah, she's in a few other things. We'll get into that some other day, but both funny, hilarious. Going back to the bar scenes, yes.
Him coming up and being like, if God, oh, what did he say? If I was God, I wouldn't play a playground next to a sewer.
Dead.
It's one of the best lines of all time.
But also, you must have been, you grew up rich.
Yeah. Yeah. You grew up rich.
Yeah,
you didn't grow up in any cities. You grew up in a suburb in Indiana that's really nice, not in Gary.
Yeah. Yeah. No, be a little risky. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway.
Also, you mean to tell me you didn't do butt stuff and you love God?
I don't know. Some people.
No, I know. Okay.
Hold on.
Hold up. So growing up, I grew up in a very, very like Christian Catholic community.
Yeah.
You know how many girls I knew that were like, if you do anal, it's not really losing your virginity because it's not the same thing.
I know. I'm familiar with.
You're familiar with the concept.
I just don't.
It's like if you were in the church, you knew.
I'm with you, but I think his character is that
like weird kid that no one even talked to at Bible study. Right. Absolutely.
The biggest thing he did was book the Hawaii trip.
Yeah. Yeah.
The wedding wasn't even.
Well, they even talk about that. They're like, yeah, we're being really exotic.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
And like, you're like, okay.
Yeah.
The matching Hawaiian prints every day is also top tier.
What's funny is that like, you would think a movie that plays, obviously it all shoots on location. Yep. It's all, the amount of Hawaiian
The producer
shirts
really wanted a Hawaiian vacation, but didn't want to pay for it.
Oh my God. Hey,
I'm
lucky.
all about skirting that system, baby.
I wish. Let me know if there's a Forgetting Sarah Marshall part 2. But yeah, in terms of scenes that I love, bar scenes, all of them.
The bar scenes are great.
Yeah.
And it's really good character building, and it kind of lets you know where his mental health is.
I know we're probably going to like jump around a bit, but like my favorite one in terms of bar scenes is the one where he goes to take down the photo and then gets beat up, and then that turns into a whole little subplot.
Oh, the very end.
Yeah. Yeah. That's probably.
Oh, yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Because that one's good.
Yeah.
That one's good.
Some of my favorite moments in this movie, music, of course. Some of the music's great. A lot of the Peter moments are one of my favorites because I think when I watch this movie, I can just connect to the various stages of grief / recovery. We can all connect to the funny sex scenes.
Oh my God.
Like
when Kristen Bell's character
who hasn't had loud fake sex before.
Yeah. Well, when Sarah comes in and he's like in a towel and it's just speed clean the fuck out of his apartment. And he drops the towel and he's like, I got a surprise for you. And he's like wiggling his dick around. You're like, oh buddy, because you know what's coming. And he starts the bargaining phase.
Yeah.
Like, I can work on it. I can be different. Like it's like when you're so in it that like you are so blinded to the fact that this person is so out.
Yeah.
And that's the worst feeling in the world. So you can feel that visceral pain that he's going through. And you're like, oh man, dude, been there.
And that's an interesting point though. Like, cause to me, I actually view that as him being the selfish boyfriend, the selfish partner who like, obviously wasn't doing, maybe the communication wasn't there. Obviously, we also forget actor, music, like they're doing studio stuff, like the relationship, we can just imagine how bad it is and what got to that point. And that's the prequel.
Well, and like you're busy, I'm busy. And it's like, do you want someone who is able to be with you all the time? Do you want someone like, because, for me, I like my relationships to be co-interdependent, but it took me having someone who was kind of codependent with me to figure that out.
Interesting.
So I think I've been in both situations where it's like, we were together all the time. We were doing this all the time. But it seems like, she was gone. She was on location a long time.
Yeah.
They were together a long ass time.
Yeah.
And it's not... We'll get to like her and how she dealt with the relationship later on, because I think they do a really good job in this film of kind of only showing you his emotions about it until midway through, where you see where she was at in the relationship in her head.
Yeah, and we'll get there, but yeah, this movie is filled with a lot of like questions. I think there's these moments where they leave it up to the viewer to kind of like infer the missing info because not everything is spelled out. And the big one for me though is like it doesn't matter the amount of time you may have cheated on a partner or you learn how long they cheated, but when he realizes it was over a year in terms of like remember on location all that stuff.
Oh.
Broke my heart because I've been there.
Well, especially because Russell Brand's character says it so casually. He's like, "Oh, it's. I don't know how you've made it 5 years under her."
And at that time in the movie, though, he's already on the decline of like, I don't love her anymore. I'm trying to figure out this thing, and then realizes that this person doesn't love her either, and I think he's conflicted with that too.
Yeah.
So an interesting situation because I can't remember right now. Is that before or after they try to hook up?
Before, because
Right.
Russell Brand's still there.
Right. Yeah. I think. Yeah. That's a great scene. We'll get to that.
I had a question for you. I wrote it down in my notes.
Okay.
Because I was watching this and I was like, oh damn, that's a good question to pose. Okay, so there's a point where in the film, Sarah's character gives Russell Brand's character a shirt.
Yes.
And, she's like, oh, I thought you were going to wear the shirt that I got you, which is a hideous fucking
it's disgusting.
shirt. Who would date a
I would wear it,
sex symbol rock musician and then be like, hey babe, wear this Tommy Bahama? Like when you put it like that, you're like, you don't, because
you took me with the Tommy Bahama.
Yeah. She's trying to dress him into what Peter was.
Right.
And it's like, you can tell that she kind of controls a lot of things. And then when she's looking at him, she goes through that flashback of all the shitty fucking gifts that she gave Peter that he giddily wore.
See, I don't see it that way. I see it as like, oh, she realizes she realizes
what she messes up.
Right. Because he, again, going into probably autopilot mode, that's my interpretation of his early relationship with her, was he went into autopilot mode as soon as he could.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, I'll wear the shirt.
No, and like I don't think that like she did that like maliciously.
Yeah.
They were just shitty gifts because she has no taste. There's like,
fair point.
I'm sorry, the hat. I mean, and like, God bless the costume department for really being like, I will find you the most hideous shit to have said that she gave to him.
So scared.
So like, what shit do you think that you did for an ex-partner that you think haunts them to this day?
I think about it all the time. This is no, I'm being serious.
Like, no, I do too.
I'm an empathetic person. I know I'm not perfect, and like when I watch rom-coms,
I know I'm not perfect, but I know I can do things that like make you just like be like, oh, that was really nice. I'm a really thoughtful person.
I don't know. We're gonna have to cut some of that dead air, but I don't know.
Just throw some Jeopardy music in.
I honestly think. I don't think I've done anything. I think I'm a great partner. I know in my
I know. I mean, like, what good things did you do for them that haunted them? Like gift giving or like wearing a gift proudly or something like that. Because that's really like what she's haunted by is the fact that he loved her so much that he didn't care how hideous the thing was. He wanted to make her happy.
No, that's a good point. I think I've always been a giving partner though. So it's like, I'd like to think that whoever their next person is still not as good as me. And they think about all the things I did
That's
for them.
That's delightfully petty coming from...
Yeah.
From,
no.
This is in from Petty Cash Studios.
Yeah.
We're being petty today.
No. I think I'm lucky in the sense that most of my exes and I are always good and always
I didn't say it was bad. I'm petty about
know.
that shit too.
I'm trying to be careful. That's why. But let's not skate around it anymore. No, I think a lot of my caring, loving, and like taking care of the issues, doing all the behind the scenes stuff, cleaning. I love to clean. I love to cook. I'm pretty sure all my previous partners miss that.
Mm-hmm.
How much I used to do around the house. Certain.
Yeah.
I'm a home. I would go into autopilot mode, clean, cook, be ready.
That's why we're such good friends, because I'm very similar.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, you love me? You love me.
I'll do anything. Okay, so like my love language is like definitely acts of service.
Yeah.
And I I've talked about this before, that I don't think that a gift that's given without thought is a gift. I think it's just a present. Gifts are something that you put a lot of time and effort into. And you've been like, I really, really want to give you a great gift.
Yeah.
So like, I am the best gift giver.
You are.
It's like I deeply think about what I'm going to give people for gifts, like all the time.
Yep.
And I know that haunts people. So hair talk for those of you who aren't watching.
Yeah.
I ran into an ex of mine who like shattered my heart like a while back. Like was not a good person for me. Like I won't say that I was perfect. I absolutely wasn't. I will own my shit in that relationship. But it was very bad. So he was like, he tried to kiss me. And I was just like, j'accuse. Back up. No. Like, no thanks. And he was just like, he messaged me like a while later. He was like, I was just so confused because he had just gotten out of a relationship. And he was like, and I just like, I missed everything that you used to do for me. Like you were always so good about making space for me and doing this for me and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, you missed what I could provide for you. And I feel like that's what she was missing with him.
He wasn't providing anything, or he wasn't?
No, she was missing him just going along with whatever she wanted. She didn't want someone that combated her ideas and that went, no, I actually don't enjoy that.
Deep cut, Demi.
She went, oh, I really miss that this person would just don that without a single fucking thought about how fucking dumb they looked. And that I could get them a gift that had no thought or consideration for their personal style or what they liked, but I would get to dress up this man like a fucking Barbie doll.
That's a big takeaway. I'm not gonna lie. That's a big takeaway.
For that reason, I fucking hate Sarah Marshall.
Yeah, no, she's
for
not,
so many reasons.
Yeah,
she's not a good.
She is also a reminder of probably most people's negative relationships leading. You know, it is. I can pinpoint certain things she did throughout the process of the movie that I'm like, that hurt me too, and I let it go.
Yep.
So it's weird because I haven't rewatched the movie in a while. I want to get to like the stuff that I love.
Okay.
Let's jump into a positive thing if that's okay.
I feel like we started with love, but sure.
Yeah.
I just went into the deep abyss of I hate
I'm
this
just
bitch.
thinking about like, I don't disagree, but also can we talk about Paul Rudd just real quick?
Paul Rudd and Chemo, the big guy.
Yeah, Chemo was great.
Chemo's great.
The second, oh man, what a clutch move.
The side characters are really well developed. Because you've got Chemo, you've got D, and you've got Paul Rudd's character.
Right. And I was going to say PPOP, but it's not PPOP.
Yeah. It starts with a K.
Yeah. No, you just said it. Now I'm going to blank it out.
I think it starts with a K. Because I'm thinking of like when Paul Rudd is like on the beach and Jason Segel fucking smashes Russell Brand with his fucking surfboard.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
and he's
gosh.
like, call the front desk, like call them. Like, and he's like, all right, man, I'm calling him. And he just stands there and you're like, oh God, they made him the best stoner.
Yes.
Of all time.
Yeah. I mean, his one-liners in that movie though are fantastic. I mean, when life
Sounds
gives
like
you
need
lemons,
some weed.
fuck the lemons.
Yeah.
When you I don't wear a watch anymore. Or what does he say? I always forget that one now.
Oh.
I'm forgetting that one now rather.
Because I don't need one. My phone has it.
Yeah, exactly. Wild. Just the best dad jokes, the best just like comic relief. And then he joins Peter in that like one surf scene where Peter finally gets on a fucking wave. He finally rides a wave. And like, yes, get into that next part, but like to me, that is what I needed after every breakup was like this big significant moment or whatever this hurdle was. And that to me was the symbolism.
To finally accomplish something so you can get over what you were really getting over.
Getting up on that wave and riding that wave into the next thing. And then of course.
Get back on the horse, baby.
Yeah. But then of course the the blood
goes. And this is right after he's found out that Russell Brand's character Aldous Snow was sleeping with Sarah for a fucking year. And he angrily is like, I'm getting this fucking wave. He's like, I'm going in. And then catches this wave, goes right fucking into him. Aldous Snow gets that coral in his fucking leg. and he's acting like it's the end of the world. He's like, this coral is raping my leg.
I know. It was just, yeah, that's such a funny scene. And in comparison, there's the scene where he jumps off the rocks, and like that's the initial like, I'm finally kind of breaking free. Because remember, everything to that
but
point,
he's still
though,
holding on because he literally falls off onto the rock, and then Mila Kunis is like, "No, don't fall straight down, you'll die."
like push yourself off.
What do you mean under you? Then push. Oh, Peter, I can see your pussy from here. Like
again, yeah, great movie. Yeah,
which Mila Kunis has always played those like great like guy's girl type deal of vibes.
Yeah.
In all of her rom-coms. Think about
I was trying to find a comparison.
No Strings Attached, the other one that came out at the same exact time, Friends with Benefits.
Yeah, I forget about that movie.
Yeah, it's her and Justin.
On the list.
Justin, this is gonna ruin the tour Timberlake.
Never mind, off the list.
Yeah.
I
No, I would love to talk shit about Justin Timberlake.
It's just an hour of
It's just an hour of this is gonna ruin the tour. What tour?
Well.
World tour.
But yeah, those are like, there's other big moments, and I think we both love the Muppet scene. We'll get into that, but like, what are other significant moments for you that I might be missing?
You know, it's a stupid side thing that it's not a significant moment, but it is just something that I really like that they do well, is Jonah Hill's fangirling.
Yeah.
I think that does show a really accurate depiction of how a lot of celebrities are treated in certain venues.
Mm-hmm.
I have friends who have been in the limelight a long time, and you kind of go, ooh, I've kind of seen that happen. Like one time me and a friend were like just trying to get dinner, and these people were like clearly talking about him at a table next to us. And like, we're like, no, you do it. No, you do it. No, you ask. No, you ask. And like, finally he was like, can I help you?
I've seen that.
Like, and it can be really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And like Jonah Hill was like the epitome of like the uncomfortableness. Like, I'm going to bring you this coconut cake and this champagne, and you're clearly in the middle of having a really awful life moment right now, and you don't even drink. And I should know that, considering I'm such a huge super fan.
You've seen Monsters, Inc., right? I would like to think so.
Yeah, are we comparing Jonah Hill to Mike Wazowski?
No, close though. No, God, no. No, I'm comparing Jonah Hill to the two little helper guys who like, or Mr. Sullivan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I really like how well they did that. I think the really pivotal scene for me is when they go to that bar and she signs him up to sing his musical song.
Yeah, talk about support.
Not only the support, it's like, especially when you later view how Sarah reviews like his music after he first plays it, and she's like, I don't fucking get it. The smile and the look of admiration that Mila Kunis' character, that Rachel gives him while he's on stage, just unabashedly being his weird fucking self, is everything. And I think that's the look that everyone who's a little weird wants someone to give them.
Yeah, she was not embarrassed.
She was not embarrassed.
She took it upon herself
supporting
to push,
him the whole way through.
Yeah, and then like as soon as the name, like she knew he could do it. That was never a question on skill, right? It was about helping.
It's about helping him to accomplish it.
Yeah, exactly.
And a real partner helps you accomplish your goals and doesn't go, no, I'm just not going to get it.
Or doesn't at least encourage you to try. Mm-hmm. And that's a big takeaway.
And I think honestly that speaks to a lot of why his character, why Peter was stunted for so long, was like, you have this partner who's literally sitting there telling you, no, it's weird.
And now I will retract what I was thinking originally, because I'm going back to the beginning part of the movie where, you know, he was using the salad bowl as a cereal bowl.
I love that. Classic. I personally love that because like I love big bowls of cereal.
Oh yeah.
Like you give me a giant bowl of Apple Jacks,
I'll love
you forever.
Yeah.
Follow you around like a Labrador. Like I'll be like, oh my God, you got more Apple Jacks?
Yeah. Follow the cereal pod we do here. Maybe we'll bring Demi on. We can just drink milk.
Drink milk. Not oat milk. I'm an adult.
I have expendable money, so I buy almond milk.
See, I'm from the Midwest. I feel like they'll disown me if I drink like almond milk. I have to stick with the cows.
Yeah.
Ethically sourced.
Nice. Going back to bar scenes real quick. Do you remember when he pulls the banana out and there's a lime attached at the end of it and it kind of looks phallic?
Yeah.
I crack up every time.
Super funny.
Not you and me.
Super funny. Super funny.
Best ever.
Well, and I also really love, I think a really great scene is the dinner scene where they all end up having dinner together.
Yeah.
Because that's when you see the true dilapidation of her and Aldis's relationship.
Now, correct me or remind me, I know when they enter, I want to say she's like, Aldous goes, oh yeah, why don't we invite him over to dinner? And she was combative about it, or is it vice versa?
No, so in the beginning, like Aldous is like, oh, like why don't you join us? And she's like, no.
That's right. Okay.
And then it is juxtaposed by when the couples are there together, and he's like, oh, like why don't you join us? Being polite, giving the same gesture that Aldous gave because they had to wait 5 minutes for their table. Because remember, Jonah Hill's character like cries because he's like, I'm so sorry, I didn't know that you were coming. And he was like, it's all right, mate. You don't have to cry.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah.
No, you don't need to wait.
The wine on the shirt though in that scene, and he's like vigorously rubbing it. It was the shirt or
Oh my
pants.
God.
Yeah, I forget. But I just,
don't worry, we'll get to the shirt.
Yeah.
And so she immediately goes, yeah, we'd love to. And he's like, are you okay? I guess we're doing this. And like he already knows like this is not going to go well.
Mm-hmm.
He can already tell that she's still into it with him.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel is offended because she's like, I don't want to have to share you with her, and I also don't fucking like her. She doesn't fucking like her. Let's be honest. She is now protective of Peter and views this as a person who really fucked him over. I won't lie. When I start dating someone and I hear about like an ex of theirs that was fucking cruel to them, I fucking hate that person.
I have issue with that because it's hard to like, there's always two sides.
I mean,
of every
there's always
story.
two sides, right? But like still, you kind of like, you're not going to be best friends with them. You're not going to be like, oh yeah, hey, come sit with us. I know that you really hurt my friend. I know that you really hurt my partner.
The takeaway from me in that though, and like, you know, when we talk about some of these movies and we're like, what could we have done without? I honestly could have done without the dinner scene.
I don't think so. I think it is.
I know it leads into a very funny scene next.
Well, no, I think it sets up the downfall of that relationship. I think it's actually a really pivotal scene because without that, you wouldn't have Sarah Marshall going, oh, they're having sex next door while my partner's now passed out in bed next to me.
That scene in and of itself is hilarious.
You wouldn't have that scene without the bump set. Yeah. You wouldn't have the spike without that scene because that is like Rachel leans over and fucking plants one on Peter.
Mm-hmm.
And it is like, I like living here.
Yeah.
Because Sarah's trying to make those digs about she must have nothing to do with her life because she's trapped on that island. And also the shirt scene that you're discussing, the best line is when Russell Brand is like, he's like, no, I think I'll actually make it quite better. I should get a design award for this.
That's exactly what I was.
I
was like biting my lip because I was like, that
funny
is the only reason why that scene for me is funny. Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah. That's too funny that I'm top tier scene. Unfortunately, it's Russell Brand, but top tier scene. I think with like, well, I want to back up on the sex thing for a second because the next scene, of course, is them like everyone's going at it and everyone's faking it and everyone's, or maybe not, I don't know.
Well, and
I
think the best part is that like Rachel and Peter know exactly what she's doing. So they're fucking laughing about it while it's happening.
Yes. But then they end up having what seems to be passionate lovemaking.
Yeah.
Which is like every rom-com, I don't care. Even if it's alluded to, there has to be some type of like good sex scene. Right? And then they follow it up with a bad
unless it's like Pride and Prejudice where like sex is forbidden.
Yeah. There's a scene at the end I really want to get to, by the way, but yeah, it follows up with a bad sex scene. Am I missing anything? We're going right into like,
no, we're hitting it on.
Yeah. And so the bad sex scene always makes me laugh only because
wait, pause.
Oh yeah.
Pause. You know what we didn't cover?
Huh.
Is her crazy fucking ex. Rachel's crazy ex.
Oh yeah, because
that is a scene I could have done without with. We're talking about a scene I could have done without with. I don't need that. I don't need the cocktail guy being like, oh, boom, punching him in the face. And I don't think that really like connects them any further either.
Yeah, I guess I forgot
I think
about
there was
it.
time that could have been cut.
Yeah,
exactly.
I guess I forgot about it. You're right then.
Sorry, that was the only
but
thing that I
is a
needed to
good
bring up.
That is a good side character. That did lead me to another question, but to finish this thought, like, jumping into the bad sex scene. The thing in terms of what you just said, set, and then we go for the spike, is when he comes clean. But before we get there, I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything you want to talk about bad sex scene.
Well, should we talk about how Sarah and Aldous broke up? How they're literally laying in that bed and she literally she's like, I fucking hate your music.
I thought they broke up when he stopped doing anything during sex.
Oh, that's exactly when they broke up.
That's when they broke up,
He was like,
right?
all right, I'm done now.
Yeah,
like, just literally moved her off of him. She was like, what? And he's like, I'm not going to fucking do this. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not your sex doll. Like, I'm not participating in this.
Yeah.
And then the best is he's like, I've seen some bad acting in my day and I've heard of bad acted orgasms. And you're like,
I was shook.
Cut to the heart.
Yeah.
You just told an actress, even her fake orgasms are the worst you've ever heard. And then she's like, I hate your music. And it all just crumbles. And he's like, all right, well, I'm going to get to sleep for a few hours and then I'm going to bugger the fuck off. And you're like, damn straight, Aldous, because you're too fucking good for her too. Granted, he did lie about, like, he was like, I didn't tell you that I had genital herpes.
Yeah.
Because I'm not in a flare up. And you're like, that is a wild statement to say out loud. Who are you, Usher? Like, get the fuck out of here. And
on this final episode of Love at First Mike.
Whatever. Diddy's gone. He can't pretend.
Yeah.
So
I'll fly you out though. Yeah.
Yeah, that scene. And then when Peter sees him in the lobby and he's like, oh no, I'm off to London. Oh, why are you guys going to Oh no, just me. And then
remorse. Yeah.
He compares dating her. He was like, I don't know how you lasted 5 years with her. It's like being under Hitler. He was like, well, maybe not Hitler, but definitely Goebbels. And you're like,
yeah. Oh my God. I'm so glad.
I just watched that documentary on Netflix. It's not Goebbels. Goebbels was what.
Obviously, when we do these shows, like, I come in here with things I absolutely want to talk about, and like, you remind me of some of the most like niche things from every movie.
That's because I'm crazy. Know thyself.
Yeah, know thyself. No, but like, yeah, it always makes I like replaying the movie in my head anyway, right? So it's like, this is fantastic. So thank you for that.
And then he gets up to go check on her because now he knows.
Now he knows there's a see, and that's the part that I always get upset at. He knew she wasn't feeling good because he knows her, and then he for a second, and we get into it. For a second, he has that moment where he's like, I'm going to act on this urge. I'm going to go check on her and make sure she's okay. I still think it was all because he wanted to hook up.
I think that he went there, because that little part of him is like, oh yeah, this is my shot. This is my chance, So he goes, but also he still cares about her. That's evident throughout the whole trip.
It's evident that he cared about her, period.
Yeah. Period.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what, like, as a person.
Yeah.
Like, when she tells him that the show's canceled. And he's like, he's the first, Aldous is like, oh, that's great. You can come on tour with me and be head of the groupies, whatever.
And she just
and she's like, oh no, I can't just be done. Like, my career can't be over. And he doesn't realize that that's what he's saying to her.
Yeah.
And when she goes to Peter's like, are you okay?
Mm-hmm.
Are you all right? But you also have to remember that she also just told him that he lost his job. Because he does the music for that show.
Is it implied, or do you think he did?
It's absolutely implied because he's like, oh, I'll find another job to
I just
refill
assume
later.
Studio stuff. You always have a gig.
Yeah, you always.
not actor-wise, but music-wise.
He'd get passed on to a
it's
different
funny
show.
You think of those things because I think of those things too. Where I'm like, the like meta behind the character. Like, I always like digging in more than I need to.
Yeah, well, because we're
things.
Empathetic people,
Yeah,
so we want to
true.
understand where they're coming from.
Yeah, that's true.
But when he goes to her hotel room. And they're sitting there first of all, the setting is wrong. If you're going to comfort your ex, you guys shouldn't be sitting inside on the bed. You should be sitting outside on the patio. If you were
don't
not
comfort
intending,
people on bed?
if you were not intending to hook up.
Oh, fair enough. See what I'm saying?
So like, and also the way they're sitting side by side next to each other. Their legs are touching. Like, if you were leaving room for the person that you were with, that you guys wouldn't be that close together.
No.
It'd be like a quick hug and like, I'm really sorry.
I would be standing at least 3 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
The hug for
quick
sure.
Hug, back up.
Yeah.
And leave room for Jesus. So then, when she's like, I missed you, like, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, you've missed what I could give you.
Yeah.
You missed the support that I gave you.
And
this all stems off of her also just telling him, I tried, you weren't caring. You didn't care. I tried so hard. I went to therapy. I talked to my mom. Also, talking to your mom is not something that you deserve a gold fucking medal for.
Mom, I love you.
I talked to my mom about everything.
But I'm not going to talk to you about my big boy issues.
Yeah.
I love you, though.
But like, talking to your mom is not something worth getting a gold medal for, I don't think. Unless you have a really estranged, like,
I was going to say, going into...
There are certain ways. But
exactly.
you know what I mean? Talking to someone you're close with about a relationship is not, like, gold medal material.
Yeah.
So when she starts, like, getting up in his grill and, like, he's like, stop tugging my face, that's when he should have gotten up and left. But you can see that he's, like, physically torn about what he wants to do because he really enjoys Rachel and he knows that there's something there. But the history is so rich.
Of course, he's already, like, counting himself out, most likely. Of course, he's doing the thing we would have done where it's just like, well, maybe there is nothing, convincing himself that this is the route. And that's why this seems more like ascertainable, right? This thing that he used to have.
This thing.
Right. And it's a thing now. It's not
It's no longer a relationship.
Right.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
It's that the hanging weight in the air whenever you're around that person. Of like,
or
that hanging weight of the history.
Which is the entire movie, the anxiety of running into your ex. Which
my God. Stop. Wait. I forgot one of my favorite things of all time about this movie is Bill Hader.
I know where you're going, but give it to me.
When he finds out that they're there and he starts following them to their room and Bill Hader's on the phone. He's like, are you following them? Stop following them. And he just starts screaming everything you as the viewer want to scream.
Right.
And like, he's like, no.
Stop it, Peter.
You stop her.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, how did that feel? Do you feel good now? And he's like, no, I feel awful. He's like, good, you should.
Yeah.
And his like, when they're like on the webcam, like Bill Hader, honestly, in anything, I love Bill Hader more than anything. But when he makes Liz's head move up and down, is the funniest shit of all time. But that was
Peter. Peter's like, wait, can you get closer to the mic?
Yeah, I know. When Peter's just like, move closer. No, move further away, Liz. Because I could actually really deal with the female perspective here. Yeah, move closer, further away. Shit is so funny.
Where'd you get that necklace?
Did you have it before?
Dead.
That's just golden.
Dead. Yeah.
Golden bits. I don't think that's like, it's a bit. It's not a dad joke. It's a bit.
It's like, hey, I want to assume the conversation in the writing was like, hey, can I just like.
I mean, this is back when we had like dick, like fucking metaphors in kids' TV shows. Like, it was all filthy, and we were better
2008.
for it. We were better.
MTV
for it.
was kind of like grunge.
Yeah.
But
yeah, sorry. I had to sidebar that because I thought of it like partway through, and I was like, "Oh God!"
No, great sidebar.
I love Bill Hader; he can do no wrong in my eyes.
No, great sidebar.
Great writer, great director. We love him.
SNL, the whole thing. But my thing, and we were just at the point where bad sex,
where he can't get it up because he's like emotionally not in it.
I hated her for saying those things, though.
Oh,
did you have a little whiskey today?
Did you drink? Because sometimes when you drink,
I was like,
nothing will make someone go softer harder than you listing all of the reasons why they're usually soft.
And then and those are the moments in the movie where I'm like, wait, why did they put that in there? Like, is it because those were issues in the past that she never brought up? And now she's like, I got to speed track this thing. You know?
Well, I think it's a great showcase of her viewing herself as being able to say anything to this person and him just being able to deal with it and be fine with it.
Do you think she still, sorry to cut you off, but do you think she still did you think she thought Peter was still within her clutches?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he came and
I think because of where her status was and where her power was, she thought that she was always going to have her. Like he was always going to be on the back burner. He was always going to be something that she could attain.
Yeah.
And then he was like, stop, like literally stop. And like, she's like, do you want my hand? He's like, no. And then do you want my mouth? Okay, maybe your mouth.
Yeah, dying. Funny.
Fucking so funny. Maybe I'll go for a blowjob right now. Like you say maybe to a chocolate milkshake. You don't say maybe for a blowjob. I don't know, maybe I'll take a fellatio instead of an affogato right now. Like.
I'm not saying anything. My mic got cut.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you either want head or you don't.
Right.
But he's like, I don't know, maybe I could have some head right now. And then she starts and he's like, no, like, it like runs out.
Yeah. I'd like to think he was still picking up his shorts on the way out.
Yeah. He grabs the shirt like last minute.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's so fucking, he never even took his pants off.
Right.
How are you going to get hard? Kind of.
Yeah.
They're unzipped.
Yeah. Hey, in a quickie, they were checking out of that room. They had to go. It was 10 o'clock. There's no late checkout in Hawaii.
But when he goes to tell Rachel.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, when he does that, just for the record, applaud, and also just like, but why? Because it could have been avoided, in my opinion. Like, I feel like he could have avoided the whole thing.
I don't
not talking to her. No, the whole like blowjob thing. I feel like he could have avoided going to the room. He had a chance to not do any of that, and then
hindsight's 2020, baby.
I know. It bugs me so much that he does.
2020.
Because like, what an opportunity though to be like, let me go grab my new hot girlfriend and like enjoy paradise while you're suffering.
She's
but he's
off
not
work
a bad
at 7,
guy.
and I'm gonna go do crazy shit with her and have a great time.
Right. He's not a bad guy though. And
he's not a bad guy.
That's the takeaway.
And then, you know, he immediately is like, hey, I fucked up. And like, then, you know, she's like, I need you to leave. And he does. And the best is Chemo and Dee hugging him. And Dee gives a face to the camera. And he's like,
yeah.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? You ruined
you fucking idiot.
Jerk.
This guy's great. Fuck you. Like, it's like when your friend like dumps someone, you're like, that's kind of a dumb reason to dump them. But you're like, I really like that person for you. And you're like, I have to support your decision because I love you, but I'm going to tell you how fucking dumb you are.
Right. And like, you have to assume, like, we've all worked those kind of jobs. We all worked service industry. We've all done, I mean, I know you have, but it is a world where it's like, you do build that camaraderie. And again, going back to like how good this movie is, they really develop these side characters enough to make you love them and like care about their opinion.
I don't even think that it's so much that they're developed so much. It's just that the people who play them do such a good job.
Yeah.
Of like emitting this like charisma that makes you want more of them on the screen.
Yeah.
So when they come into the screen, they're a welcome presence.
You want to know something funny? I bet you I can name every fish.
Oh my God. Every fish. And he's like, G.
Yeah.
Golderfish, Cooperfish, like whatever the fuck. I'm like, I literally was like, he was like,
what's the state?
I'm like, that's so funny.
Such a good scene.
He was like, I moved here from South Central. Now I can name over 300 kinds of fish. And you're like, that's so fucking funny.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, it is funny. And now I'm going to go I think I'm going to clip that scene for this. Cause like, that's a good one.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
I love that scene.
You know, so at this point in the movie, we've made a lot of mess. Mm-hmm. And we're trying to clean it up.
No.
You think we did the tourist thing and left our trash there?
I think that he took it with him. You know, he's laying it, like, I mean, they show it, like, he gets back and he's like fucking miserable. He does that song on his piano where he's like, you should go to therapy, but you hate drugs.
He's talking
like,
he's
and
talking
he's
to
like
himself,
talking to himself, like,
that's
about what
line.
a shitty person he is. And that shit's so funny.
Yeah.
Because like me, someone who's like deeply in therapy, because I need to be deeply in therapy. Like, I'm always like, I hate that I have to go to therapy, but I need to be present. Like, I need to be there or else like I'll spiral or like whatever. And it's just like, you know, I need to work on myself and I know that I need to do that. And he does what I think a lot of creatives do is like, he throws himself into finally getting over that hurdle and building
and working on his
thing and being like, I can do things without someone.
Yeah.
And I think that goes to show like he like ended up loving himself a lot more.
You know, it's funny. Today's been an interesting day in my personal life in terms of like loving yourself and taking care of yourself and things like that. And I'm now backtracking and I can give you like specific moments where relationships ended and I just had to remind myself I still needed to do the things to take care of me. You know, you wallow for a little and you should lament. You gotta get the grief out of the way. Yeah. And you gotta do that. Or else it
comes up in your next relationship.
Right.
In a really unhealthy way.
And I will say, like, to the viewer, to the listener, to whoever, and when you're trying to figure out things, some of the biggest group therapy or even therapy things that I've ever picked up about myself was just that, like, yeah, sometimes you just need to look at yourself too. And I think his trip back is that self-reflection moment.
I mean, he gets on the plane. Sarah has an ad running on Hawaiian Airlines. He's like blatantly reminded of it immediately.
Yeah.
And the thing is he's no longer caught up about Sarah. Now he's caught up about Rachel. And so it's like her being there is annoying on that screen, but he's more so where he's like pissed at himself that he blew it.
Right.
And she, you know, when he leaves, Rachel's like, don't call me, don't email me.
Yeah.
Don't text me.
And that's someone who knows.
Mm-hmm. Who knows what they want.
Yeah.
And I loved that Bill Hader was also in the Puppet musical. That his stepbrother was also in it.
And he's like,
he's
going
fucking Van
all
Helsing,
ham at the
and he's
end.
going
Yeah.
ham.
Yeah.
And
So good.
oh God. First of all, fuck the rest of these spinoffs that we're doing. Why don't I have Jason Segel's Dracula musical with puppets? I would pay good fucking money to watch that.
Why do I know that after this movie, he
did a
immediately
Muppet
got
movie.
the Muppets like involved.
I don't fucking want that. I don't fucking want that. I want to see
I liked it.
the puppet musical Dracula, because it kind of feels like what is that famous musical?
I think I know where you're going. I think I know
You know
exactly.
the famous musical? Avenue Q.
Yes,
It's like Avenue Q, but fucking Dracula.
Yeah.
I would pay good money to see that. Fuck, I don't need another Mean Girls the musical run on Broadway. Give me Forgetting Sarah Marshall's
Peter Brenner's.
Peter Brenner's. What is it? Thirst for Love?
Thirst for Love. Yeah,
Thirst for Love
Yeah.
with Dracula. I mean, I want those bats to come down on me, the silver confetti to pop out. And then he sees Rachel
Yeah.
in the audience after like making a long shot, and the way that she gets convinced to go when Dee looks at her. And I also love my friend Dee, who plays the character Dee, is literally named Dee. So I don't even have to remember a different person's name. It's beautiful.
I love it.
So Dee literally looks at her and goes, "It was just the tip." A man walked away from fucking
a blowjob.
From a blowjob for
Yeah.
you. You know what that
You know how
is?
that
That's
is?
blue balls.
You know how hard that is?
You know how hard that is?
But listen, but the thing is, like, as funny as that is,
It's a little gaslighty.
it's still, I still have my conflict.
I have my qualms with it. But everybody has their own limitations for like what cheating is. And he was telling her what his limitations were.
And it's like, and I'd like to think that conversation was a lot bigger and more complex and developed. And like,
Oh yeah,
you know,
we're seeing a
they, like,
snippet of it, of her like having the dilemma of do I go,
Right,
do I not go?
right.
I also love that there was no date on the flyer. It just says Friday and Saturday at 8.
I okay. I like to pick up on those things too, because I'm like, there's no way this girl who's working the front desk can
just
book
hopped a fucking like last minute plane ticket to the mainland.
It's expensive to
And
fly
then
from
she's
here.
like, it's open ended. Yeah, because you could only afford a one-way ticket.
But how
babe.
romantic? But how romantic is that?
Oh, I mean, it's a great swell of the music, and it's great because she's the one making the gestures, not the guy running the
Right,
airport.
she's
She's the
pushing
one
it.
going. And I love that they both kind of have that like moment after they like see each other, and she's like, no, go mingle. Like, and she's still giving him
the support,
his moment.
yeah,
And like,
hands down.
we all know that Sarah would have never done that. Sarah would have been in there stealing the spotlight. Like, oh yeah, I really helped him with this.
And I know,
I pushed him to get on stage to do this. That's what she would have done.
oh yeah.
Instead, she's like,
produced
I'm
it.
really happy for you. Like, this
Yeah.
was really great. And I'm so happy that you did it.
Yeah.
It was really funny.
I think what's interesting though on that scene, I want to bring up a couple parallels. It's like, do you remember when he's in the closet and or in the changing room at the end of the show, and he's naked there too,
I know. And she
then-
walks in.
and then there's something about that symbolically that always makes me smile for some weird reason. Like, first
It's
of all,
because
butts on screen.
She like
but
Sarah had walked in and was immediately like, I have the worst thing of your life to tell you.
yeah.
Rachel walks in and is immediately like, my bad. Like, like, look at your dick. And it's
right.
like, it's so
I
funny.
have something for
and
you.
she's just like
And she's
laughing.
embracing. Yeah.
She's just laughing her
ah.
ass off, and he's like covering himself because he's like, the last time I did this,
Yeah.
this does not go so well. And I don't know, I really loved it. And like when she's like, oh, tickets open ended,
That's a
he's like,
good
that's
point.
bold.
But that's a good point with the whole like, this didn't go so well the last time.
Like instead of like swinging his dick around, like I got something for you, he
Yeah.
covers himself.
Yeah, and I think that conversation there, the sweetest question he could ask is like, what are your plans or something like that? And she's like, oh, I don't know. And then going into the open-ended. And I'm like, I'd like to think that Peter is such a nice guy still.
He's gonna be like, you
He's
want to
like,
come stay with me?
Well, just like, no. Yes, but also like, oh, well, just call me if you've got some downtime. When he knows she's there for him.
You know what? You know what got me?
Yeah.
Was when she's like, you didn't call. And he's like, you told me not to. The bar is so low, ladies and gentlemen.
I know.
The bar is so low that I literally got turned on by a man following simple fucking instructions.
Crazy.
Bar is in hell.
Maybe we turn this into like a Find Demi's Future. I don't know. Oh my gosh, what if we hosted a live event where we did a dating show?
Oh my God, speed dating with me?
Or just speed dating and
I don't want
and we just like we're gonna talk about this off air. But yeah.
Welcome to Brainstorming Corner with Alex and Demi.
But yeah, like I think this movie again is just like a solid encompassing of like what it is to go through relationships quickly, what it is to like feel, what it is to like hurt. And they do a good job of making it funny. And like that's why this movie will forever be like one of my top 10.
I think it's a really great showcase of a breakup from a man's perspective, which is what you don't really see often. Like, usually we get like, Legally Blonde with Elle Woods. Like she's fucking torn apart and she's like fucking changes her life for the better for it, ends up. But, or, How to Be Single with Dakota Johnson, her entire life. And she chose the breakup, but she's still miserable. But this one you have a guy who really thought he was with the person that he'd spend the rest of his life with, gets that fucking blown up, and then realizes, man, I actually was in the wrong relationship for me all along. And it's wild that sometimes it takes the other person calling it for you to realize. Because, I think at the beginning of this film, he was really looking at their relationship through rose-colored glasses. Like, he's like, she was amazing. She was everything.
Pop star.
And then as it goes through, he just that veneer gets worn down while hers gets built back up and up and up.
She's sucking the energy out of them like a vampire.
Oh my God, she's the Colin Robinson of the movie.
Oh my God, so good. Yeah, so it's like, again, I appreciate you. And I know these journeys aren't always easy because we have to reminisce of things of before.
Oh, I love talking about my past relationships. It saves my therapist some time this week.
Yeah, because now we can just get to the issue. See you, Brenda, on Thursday. but yeah, like the thing. Yeah. Anyway,
my therapist has the same first name as my mom, so I call her by her middle name.
Do you ever accidentally call her mom?
No, absolutely not.
The day you do that, you'll need a new therapist.
No, this woman is really mean. My mom is really nice. I need a stern therapist.
Makes sense.
Because my mom's the nicest woman alive, and she'll be like, it's okay. This woman is like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, that's good. You got a good therapist for you then. Don't be afraid to shop around, guys. That's a thing that people doesn't
definitely
talk
shop around.
Yeah.
Speaking of therapy.
Mental health note of the day.
And don't use BetterHelp. They steal your fucking data and sell it.
Do what you got to do. But you want to take us out?
Well, first, what are we rating it?
Oh, that's right.
How many?
Ooh.
What was the drinking? How many pina coladas would you give this? He was drinking pina coladas, I think, in the breakfast.
Yeah, he was. Oh, man. I don't like pina coladas.
Okay. How many Paul Rudds would you give this?
I'm going to just say that what I need to say. 10 out of 10 Paul Rudds. No, Paul Rudd gets a 10.
Paul Rudd is a 10.
Yeah, if we're doing pina coladas, and I like getting caught in the rain, have you? I think, although I love this movie, it's a top 10 for me, it's still like 4.1, 3.8.
Okay.
But a solid 3 for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
I give it about a 3.5.
Okay.
I do have to say I love the soundtrack of this film.
Mm-hmm.
The Inside of You song being the roll credit song is so funny to me. And that's a scene that we didn't talk about. But when he sings out in front of Peter, I literally lost it, like in front of all the families during 4th of July. That shit is so funny.
And he's like doing all these sexual things on stage.
There's so much good comedic gold, and they don't really make rom-coms that way anymore, where they are more of a comedy than they are about the romance. Yeah. But I think that this is like a comedy with really beautiful romance and romantic undertones underneath.
Yeah.
So for that, I give it a 3.5.
Yeah, I think we're close on this
3.5
one.
Paul Rudd's.
We're close on this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
What have you been watching? I know you've been on your travels. I can only
I have
imagine.
been watching tourists take photos of things. No, my trip was beautiful. It was amazing. I got to go all over the place. I feel so privileged that I got to see so many things. I got to see Venice before it sinks.
I got to live through your Instagram, and I was just like, oh man, that's so cool.
I had a really nice
So cool.
time.
Yeah.
I honestly haven't been watching a lot recently. I've been playing a lot of video games, and I think it's because I'm writing a lot.
That's good.
So because I'm writing a new feature right now, and I'm working on pitching some stuff. So like
Sick.
Watching television right now is like not at the front of my brain. Like when I'm not writing television, I would like to turn my brain off and play video games.
Yeah.
So I just restarted Breath of the Wild.
Nice little comfort gaming.
Yeah, a little comfort gaming. And because I had it originally on my Switch Lite, and now I have it on my big Switch. So I'm playing it on my TV, which is really nice. It's a nice contrast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that game. It's so beautiful. I have Tears of the Kingdom. I don't like it as much as Breath of the Wild. And I think it's because you have to do all that building shit. And that shit just annoys me. I was like, this is fucking stupid.
I watch a lot of gameplay.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of gameplay, and that's about it. I think it's a cool game, but I don't want to play it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It's a lot of intricate bullshit that you don't. It's like basically Breath of the Wild plus building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen some stuff.
I did watch season 3 of The Bear.
Good. I have to catch up.
I loved it.
Great.
It's some of Jamie Lee Curtis's best acting that I've ever seen from her.
Love it.
The whole cast is phenomenal. The soundtrack, the lighting choices. You've seen the first episode, right?
Oh, I've seen the first 2 seasons.
Spoiler. The first episode of season 3.
Oh, no, I haven't.
No, okay.
Yeah.
First episode of season 3 makes you understand a lot about Carmi.
Good.
That they have alluded to throughout the whole rest of the show. I think it is a beautifully well-written show. Ayo Edebiri, you deserve everything and more. I love her.
Yeah.
She will always be famous, especially since she shouted out all the assistants in her award speeches. Ooh, I'm in a lot of like assistant groups for like people who have been assistants. And everybody was like, oh girl, you just signed your gifts away.
Love
Everybody's so stoked. So that was great. And for those of you curious, for my trip, I went to Italy. I went to Amsterdam. I went all over Italy. I went to Rome, Florence. I'm obsessed with the Medicis. The Serpent Queen season 2 comes out. I love that show.
Mm-hmm. Billboards everywhere.
And then I went to Venice. I went to Amsterdam from there, and then I went to England. I visited one of my best friends. I did some stand-up while I was there.
Mm-hmm.
Tax write-off. If you're the IRS,
Cut
you
that,
aren't listening.
Cut that.
Yeah. And then, I went from there. I went to Berlin. One of my best friends is the lead guitarist of a really great band. So I just went to Berlin to see them play. And then I left the next day for Paris, and then I came home.
Look at you. You make it sound so easy.
And it was the best time of my life. And I'm so privileged that I got to do it. Yeah. So that's what's been going on with me. I'm just getting this one to forgive me for being gone for so long.
I bet.
I have sitters come stay in our house. She doesn't even have to leave our house.
Yeah.
She's so spoiled.
I was I'm glad it didn't come through, but I was like, I'm ready to take care of Moose. Just let me know.
Let me know. I got it. So what have you been watching? What's on your list that you've been?
Last 2 weeks been really busy. Busy. But when I haven't had time to watch TV, I have been queuing up some stuff. You and I have been texting about a few things. The last thing I watched, though, beginning to end, I'm going to give you a name. Because I want to talk about this movie next, I think. Nicole Kidman.
Family Affair.
Son of a bitch. Yeah.
That reminds me of the Rick and Morty episode where they make fun of Heist and you're like, you son of a bitch, I'm in.
Yeah, no.
I love her. Save some roles for the rest of us, Nicole.
Thank you.
I'm kind of sick of seeing her face right now. I love that Nicole got the renaissance that she did after Big Little Lies.
I was going to say after, don't you mean AMC? No, I'm sorry.
Oh my God, yeah. But the new ad is not as good, AMC. You fumbled that bag.
I've not seen it. But yeah, Family Fair.
Family Fair.
I'd like to talk about it.
Okay. I gotta watch it then.
I'm not jealous of Zac Efron's body, but I'm
jealous of people who have gotten to touch it.
I feel like we leaned heavy on his abs in this movie, but we'll
I feel
talk
like
about
that's
that.
every movie he's ever in. He's been in a lot of good rom-coms.
Of course.
That awkward moment is great.
That's not on the list
Yeah,
yet.
with Miles Teller
That's not on the list yet.
and Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
Man, look at me with the deep cuts. That's
not
a
on
good
the list
one.
yet. Yeah, we got to add that, As always, listeners, fans, friends, family, we want every suggestion. We've been receiving a bunch, so we need to get up to speed. And I'm excited to announce, and this is, Demi and I have been talking. I'm excited to announce what we want to do.
Yeah.
Which is once a month. We're gonna try to like change things up. We are gonna get on our game.
Yeah. Well, now that I'm back, and she says she's about to leave for New York for like 10 days. Now that I'm back for a little while, and we kind of have our schedules more ironed out. We are gonna start kind of formatting our like schedules out. So we're gonna have one episode a week. If we get enough like meet cute stories in, we might throw in like a little bonus episode.
We want to do some story days. I have a few already. I'm excited to read them. All names will be changed. All locations will be changed. They will all take place in some type of romantic city of your choosing if you send it in.
Yeah.
So
actually, no, I don't want to change the city.
You want to? Oh, okay.
Because I think it's really sweet when love stories happen in small towns.
Right. What am I thinking? There's so many love stories.
There's so many
we don't
love
need to hide
stories.
that many things.
We don't need to hide where it is. Nobody has to know that you listen to us.
Yeah, that too. Demi.
Yeah, hi. Oh, wait. Oh, I want to tell them one more thing.
Yeah.
We're also going to be doing one classic movie a month.
Thank you. Yeah, that's it.
And that's my
Which
favorite.
I'm like super excited about.
I'm super excited about. I'm an Audrey. I'm a Hepburn family slut. Okay, I love them. And Marilyn.
I've always wanted to do the classics. I've always wanted to take a minute to like just burn through those because I've seen them 100 times. You've probably seen them 100 times, and it's just a matter of like we need to revisit some of these.
And we're not talking classics like John Hughes, although John Hughes movies are great.
Yeah.
Hello, we love the Brat Pack.
Yeah.
But we are talking more like, Roman Holiday.
Casablanca.
Bringing Up Baby. That's a great one.
And then the big one.
Oh, Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Breakfast at Tiffany's, which we're very excited about. Demi and I have gone back and forth trying to figure out how we're going to talk about this, so we're excited to get to it.
I'm a wealth of information about this movie, and I love it so much. I literally know like almost everything there is to know about it. I literally use the term top banana to describe people.
Love.
Because I'm a fucking weirdo. You're a real top banana, darling.
Love it. But with that,
guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And we're really grateful. And if you have any meet cute stories, if you have any meet cute stories, please send them in to our email. It'll be listed in the details of the podcast for this week. Or if you just like want to send us some love, make sure to follow us on Instagram, share our reels, our TikToks.
Yeah, everything helps. We want to keep this going. We're both creatives. We both like the things we do. We want to bring people on. So if there's an interest out there, let us know.
Yeah, and we started this because we love talking about movies, aka shitting on rom-coms. It's literally how we started it.
How we started was really negative.
Was literally yelling really about Love Actually.
Because it was rough. I was like, "Oh, you're funny. We really want to do this."
Yeah.
And we're like, kind of.
We were like, let's fucking do this.
Yeah.
And for those of you who listen to my other podcast, new episodes of Stoner Origin Story for the second season will be dropping in August. So.
Yeah, very excited. Luckily, Demi's allowing me to help on that one too. You won't see me, but I'm definitely going to push it because it is some of the best content out there. And I miss the show greatly. Go check out the first season. Fantastic pod. I always think it's funny. So please, please, please like, subscribe, comment, all of the things. End the video now because I'm going to keep going for like 10 more seconds.
Perfect.
All right, Demi.
Love you, bud.
See you next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye, guys.